A shock to the system as the coronavirus surges in California, and nearly every county is hit with tighter restrictions. New action from the state and enforcement from the county.
A second vaccine is reported to be highly effective. An in-depth look at why it doesn't work the same as our most common vaccines.
Plus, how unemployment brought two friends together for a suddenly popular mural of Mr. Padre in City Heights.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
Record-breaking. It's a term that we've used several times over the past couple of weeks because right now the coronavirus is surging out of control and California is not being spared.
As the virus continues to spread unchecked, tighter restrictions are hitting nearly the entire state. In fact, 94% of Californians are now in the most restrictive purple tier. Our ABC 10 News anchor Vanessa Van Hefty explains the governor's new measures announced in light of those numbers and what San Diego County is doing to enforce the new rules.
Unprecedented numbers. Nearly the entire state of California pushed into the purple tier. COVID-19 cases doubling in California in the last 10 days.
This is simply the fastest increase California has seen since the beginning of this pandemic.
41 counties now in the most restrictive purple tier as opposed to just 13 last week. Governor Gavin Newsom announcing more restrictive measures Monday. Counties will move back into tiers every week instead of every 2 weeks. The governor hammering down on restrictions while humbly apologizing for attending a birthday party in an exclusive Napa Valley restaurant, ignoring his own advisories.
The spirit of what I'm preaching all the time was contradicted, and I got to own that. And so I want to apologize to you.
Here at home, San Diego County officials say Sunday we saw our highest number of COVID-19 cases. Monday, they held an emergency meeting to announce the second highest daily record, urging everyone to cooperate with the latest public health orders.
As we go into the Thanksgiving holiday, we know that people want to get together, but I encourage you to follow the guidance that we have posted on our website, that the state as well as the CDC are recommending. Limit your engagements or gatherings over the holidays. Follow the guidance from the state, no more than 3 households. I would strongly encourage you not to travel out of state.
County officials say they've already handed out 10 cease and desist letters Monday to those not complying. Starting Tuesday, they will start listing those businesses on the county's website. Vanessa Van Hefty, ABC 10 News.
And Governor Newsom says he may impose a statewide curfew. He is looking at the data of other countries and states that currently have curfews before he makes that final decision. Our 2-week trend for positive COVID cases, it continues its upward climb, quickly approaching 4.5%. As you can see, we are now about a month removed from when our rolling average was pretty consistently below 3%. There were 833 new cases reported today. That brings our local total now to 65,600. The county did not report any additional deaths over the weekend. 926 San Diegans have died from COVID.
Hundreds of people joined a rallying cry near the county administration building in Waterfront Park tonight. The rally wrapped up about an hour ago, but at least 300 people took part, calling on state and local governments to let businesses stay open.
From some of the speakers, they're asking people and asking businesses to stand up and to open up and to do it safely, but to not give in to some of these orders that are coming down from the Capitol.
Local leaders joined in support of the businesses, including the mayors of El Cajon and Coronado, as well as County Supervisor Jim Desmond.
Hot on the heels of Pfizer's announcement that its vaccine candidate is at least 90% effective, Moderna says it's seeing equally promising results from its vaccine trial. Moderna says its candidate has an efficacy rate greater than 94%. Moderna used data from 2 groups of 15,000 people. Now, the first group got a placebo. 90 people developed COVID-19, 11 of them severely. A second group got the actual vaccine. Only 5 of them got the disease and none seriously. Both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines rely on a new kind of approach to the science, RNA. Tonight, our ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl is going in depth to explain how RNA vaccines work.
On the surface, the vaccine candidates from Moderna and Pfizer look like any other vaccine you've taken.
It really felt just like a flu shot.
Like other vaccines, they work by training your body to build up defensive weapons against the virus, like antibodies and T cells. But instead of training your body by introducing a killed virus or a fragment of a virus, these vaccines introduce a set of instructions called messenger RNA, or mRNA, enclosed in a little blob of fat.
The key concept with RNA is that RNA is messages, and they're meant as like short-term messages. So it'd be like in each cell at any given time, there are maybe 5,000 to 10,000 different messages.
Dr. Shane Crotty at the La Jolla Institute for Immunology says the mRNA instructs some of your cells to make the coronavirus's signature spike protein, the key protein that unlocks the door to cells. He says it's just enough material to train the immune response, but not enough to make you sick.
If it was like a car, it'd be like you just showing the car door to the body, right? There's no way that car door can turn into a whole new car. But it's enough of a piece of the car for your immune system to recognize that car if it saw it again.
Scientists started by sequencing the virus's DNA from a sick patient, then encoding that genetic sequence into an mRNA instruction molecule that can be read by the manufacturing part of cells. From there, it's a bit like Snapchat. The mRNA gets injected into your body, sending instructions to your cells that last for a bit and then get deleted forever. So it's not like your cells are being genetically modified.
They're around as messages for some period of time, and then they go away, and then the cells get back to their normal job of reading their own messages instead of reading the message that you're injecting in the vaccine.
The concept has been around since the 1990s, but there are currently no RNA vaccines on the market for any pathogen. So Dr. Crotty says it's hard to estimate how long-lasting the immunity from them will be. Some existing vaccines protect you for life, like the measles vaccine. Others protect you for decades. The flu vaccine lasts just about 6 months. Dr. Crotty says it depends on how fast the virus mutates and how long the immune cells survive. But even in a worst-case scenario,
those aren't insurmountable problems.
Because the best feature of RNA vaccines is that they can be quickly reprogrammed. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
It's amazing work. Both Moderna and Pfizer are still in their phase 3 trials, but they do expect to finish them by December. Together, they estimate they will have enough doses for about 35 million people by the end of the year, primarily for healthcare workers and high-risk individuals.
And this just in, the county released the list of businesses that it has sent a cease and desist order to. These are the businesses that the county says is not complying with the purple tier restrictions. Several gyms, a few restaurants, and one church is on the list. We're going through this list right now. We will have more on this in later editions of ABC 10 News. And an East County restaurant owner says that several customers turned out this weekend to support his decision to keep his dining room open during the latest round of restrictions. We introduced you to Larry McNamara last week. He owns Major's Diner in Pine Valley. Because he is only open for breakfast and lunch, McNamara said the cold mountain mornings would keep people from dining outside. He says that he'll not budge no matter what the county does.
I'm over not sleeping at night, so is my wife, trying to figure out how we're going to pay our bills if we were, to have to close the inside and go back outside.
McNamara says the county health inspector called him once to ask about his setup, but otherwise he hasn't had any other contact with the county.
Wearing a mask while exercising doesn't put any added strain on your lungs. This is according to a new study co-authored by researchers from UC San Diego. The study found that while the feeling of being short of breath could increase, the main issue with wearing a mask while exercising is actually comfort. Researchers note that this does not apply to people with severe cardiopulmonary disease who could be affected. The coronavirus is surging across the country and here at home. Keep up with the latest developments, track the virus's spread, and find local testing sites with the ABC 10 News app. You can find it for free in the App Store.
Preparations for President-elect Joe Biden's January 20th inauguration are underway, even as the transition of power remains stalled. Biden's team is fighting for access and sounding the alarm about being shut out of the planning for the critical distribution of COVID vaccines.
If we have to wait until January 20th to start that planning, it puts us behind over a month, month and a half. And so it's important that it be done, that there be coordination now.
The General Services Administration, which plays a major role in the transition, has not yet acknowledged Biden's projected win. In an email, the agency's chief says she can't ascertain that Biden won. And today, President-elect Biden also urged Congress to pass a coronavirus relief package, including funding for state and local governments.
A San Diego fire rescue canine, one of just 3 in the entire state that was trained to sniff out accelerants used in arsons, has died. San Diego Fire Department says that Emily passed away last week from medical complications. We introduced you to Emily earlier this year while profiling the fire department's Metro Arson Strike Team. Her career with the department started back in 2015 and took her across the state, even to Alaska. Our thoughts are with the San Diego Fire Department and the Arson Strike Team.
Here's a story that we saw getting a lot of traction on Twitter. 2 friends who were laid off because of the pandemic recently painted a mural of Padres Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn on the outside wall of the Undisputed Gym on University and City Heights. The Padres tweeted out photos of the mural, and Tony Gwynn Jr. retweeted them, and now people are flocking to see it. The friends worked with the City Heights Business Association to paint the mural.
That's why I think so many people can come together and really honor this. Even if they weren't a baseball fan, everyone in San Diego is a Tony Gwynn fan.
Yeah.
He stood for, he was just so honorable, so gracious, and he stood for, some amazing stuff.
The artists say that the mural took them 5 days to finish, putting in hours and hours every day to get it right. Nice job.